It's a sunny Sunday afternoon in Champaign as both Michigan State and Illinois open their Big Ten season. Both these teams' ninth match of the 2022 campaign. I'm Darren Brown, joined by Alec Gilmore. Big Ten Plus today, the second weekend day of Big Ten games. The Big Ten opening up this Friday, a trifecta of games. He had a pair of 1-0 victories for both Maryland and Nebraska, and Wisconsin getting a win on the road against Iowa. Now today, Illinois and Michigan State, two of the 8 Big Ten teams in action this Sunday. Alec, you've got two teams in Illinois and Michigan State looking to prove some doubters wrong. You have Michigan State under second-year head coach Jeff Hostler taking the team from being picked 13th in the preseason poll last year to finishing 6th. Illinois in a similar situation for this year, finishing 14th out of 14 teams in the preseason poll before getting an exhibition ranked win against Virginia. Michigan State coming off of a ranked win against Colorado.
Yeah, we've seen both of these teams start very well. I've honestly been surprised to see Michigan State. I feel like they've kind of flown under the radar just a little bit in terms of rankings. They've had some pretty good wins. They had a ranked win against Colorado in less than ideal conditions. And then as far as Illinois goes, they've looked a lot sharper than they started last season. They picked up 4 wins pre-conference last year, and then they've picked up 5 this year. But I think this team looks a lot better, and I think we're in for a good contest here this afternoon.
Colorado match, the last match heading into this one for Michigan State, a 4-2 victory at home against the then number 19 Buffaloes. A hat trick for senior Cameron Evans, one of the top all-time goal scorers in the Spartan program. Part of those 4 straight goals after Colorado scored the opening goal, a late first half one from Evans, followed by one early in the second half, and then a penalty kick for that third goal. She's looking to continue her great offensive performance in the non-conference schedule as Michigan State opens up Big Ten play here in Champaign.
So what we're looking at here in terms of lineups, we're seeing Michigan drop 4 at the back. They had 3 on their previous fixture against the Buffaloes on Sunday. So it's a different look. It's responding to Illinois' 4-3-3. So definitely an interesting tactical mashup here already.
Evans kicked things off for the Spartans, the 5th-year senior from Fenton, Michigan. Leader on both Michigan State and the Big Ten in shots on goal, 16 this year. Spartans looking to set something up here early. Abby Gardner with the pass to Cox, moving it forward. Down at the corner, it's Sargent.
It's good pressure by Emerson Sargent. She's been one of the more impressive freshmen. She's already built a pretty big role within this Spartans team, and you can see the pressure she's already applying. She hangs out in the midfield, but she'll definitely move around, facilitate as needed. So despite her young stature, she'll be one to watch for the Spartans that the Illini will have to keep an eye on.
One of 2 freshmen in the starting lineup today, along with the reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Courtney Kaler. Is Illinois almost a good chance there, controlled by Maeve Jones. But the Spartans and the reigning Big Ten goalkeeper of the year in Lauren Kozel settles things down for Michigan State.
Yeah, Lauren Kozel, incredibly confident. She's going to be a strong voice in that back line, which is going to be important in any game, but especially with an Illinois team that has an attack that is firing on all cylinders right now. Not a ton of experience, but from this season, they've certainly gotten a lot sharper even in just the last few games. Kozel definitely confident in her goalkeeping, on the ball, in distribution, so it will not be easy to get one past her.
Just the 2nd United Soccer Coaches All-American in Spartan program history, along with legendary goalkeeper Laura Habor in her time there. Once again, Illinois almost setting something up, but it'll be Kozel settling things down.
So we're seeing it played to Gardner. She played in a more defensive midfield position on Sunday, and she has previously. So what that means is I think Michigan State is looking for some verticality. From playing from all the way at the back is a possibility. We're seeing some high pressure from Illinois, which obviously can work out as a good strategy, but Michigan State has been effective at counter pressing. They call it Gegen pressing, and so that's going to be something to watch for. But with Gardner at the back, you can very easily float ones long, and Michigan State can quickly be dangerous.
Up pass, can't find Lauren DeBow. Chile clearing it up toward the halfway line, and a throw in for the Spartans. Michigan State with a win in their last match. Illinois tying with Loyola Chicago, a 1-1 tie here at Demersion Park. Ramblers scoring not even within 2 minutes, a minute 38 into that match, but Illinois' Maeve Jones getting the tying one in the 71-minute mark.
We saw just there, Justina Gaynor was quick to a loose pass at the back. This midfield plays pretty high in that counter pressing I was just talking about for the Spartans. So Illinois is going to have to keep it tight at the back. Now with Michigan State committing numbers so high up the field, they may have a chance to exploit some gaps in space and maybe get some numbers forward. But that's going to have to require some sharp passing, which plenty of these Illini are capable of.
Michigan State trying to put the offensive pressure on early, had the battle down low between DeBow and Illinois' Joanna Verzosa-Dolezal. Pass the inside to Cox. The shot tipped away by Chile. A good look, but a nice reflection to get the save.
That was a phenomenal ball by Emerson Sargent. I mean, just great vision to see her teammate in space. You get a look here, and then Cox gets the shot off. It's not a bad one. I think that may have actually been an attempted cross, but that was all because of a fantastic pass into space by Emerson Sargent. That was great work there, and Cox and the Spartans unfortunate not to get an attempt on Julia Chile's goal.
No goal from it, but the Spartans getting the offense working smoothly here.
So what Illinois have to be careful of, they've not been a team that's been that sharp with counterattacking. Of course, that can always change, but what we've seen with Michigan State is if they've been granted more possession in their attacking half, then we see that midfield more emboldened. They become more dangerous, and they can start making attempts on goal or finding more creative, incisive passes. As they get more comfortable, they can create some more chances. So Illinois, a very possession-based team, is going to want more of it.
The last match, goal scorer Jones across to Pasquale. Deflected now across the head, trying to find Jones, and headed away, running after it is Kennedy Burschel. Centers it with the dribble, and the shot just past the top left corner.
Not a bad take at all by Kennedy Burschel. We don't really see a lot of shots taken from that distance from her, but she's certainly capable of them. She's got the right bend on that one, doesn't quite dip in time, but that's not a bad take at all. So Michigan State Spartans a little rattled at the back.
Couple of early good looks. One for each team, still no score. Prell with it for the Illini in the box. And finally kicked away. The slum of white jerseys there to get it away.
It's a good move by DeBow to get past Karolak, and she's got a couple numbers with her.
DeBow slows things down, gets it to her right to Kaler. Centering pass, tracked down Evans, and she'll keep it in. Shot goes just to the right of Chile. And again, another great look for the Spartans, but no dice.
There was an Illini tip on that one. I think it may have been Chile just to get it right outside. And it was indeed. That's actually a great save by Julia Chile to get her foot down there. I think Trider gets a little bit lucky that she doesn't give up a better chance there, because she stayed a little bit too far outside and gave Cameron Evans the space inside, and that allowed her to get a shot off. Credit to Julia Chile. That's a great save.
First corner of the match here for the Spartans. They had 4 in their win against Colorado. Shot right into the hands of Julia Chile. And Illinois again survives a Michigan State attack.
Yeah, DeBow had plenty of space there, and that's exactly where she wanted to be. And I don't think she's too pleased with how that ultimately came off. She gets a decent amount of power behind it, but as you can see, Chile quickly and comfortably makes the adjustment to catch it easily.
Jones gets it to Julia Eichenbaum. Eichenbaum working to her left. Trider off the left foot and up and over the crossbar for a Michigan State goal kick.
Well, it's another shot from distance that we saw. This one from Aaliyah Trider, another player that we don't see steer too many toward goal. And I like the idea of keeping Kozel honest and keeping her on her toes from these outside of the box shots. But we've seen some success from the direct attack whenever the Illini have been able to link up in the box already in this game. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that and really test that Michigan State goalkeeper.
First shot of the game from Trider, looking for her first points of the season as playing on that Illinois defense. Jones couldn't quite work around Gardner. Now the pass toward the middle. Illinois keeps with it. Eichenbaum couldn't get a shot off, and now Michigan State trying to clear it, still with the Illini. Cathrow's soft shot into the hands of Lauren Kozel.
It's great defending by Emerson Sargent to slow down Julia Eichenbaum. Eichenbaum is very skilled on the ball, but the added physicality that Sargent adds and giving the extra little bit of a shoulder bump to force Eichenbaum into a less comfortable position prevents a better shot. So that's great work by Sargent on the defensive half.
Good takeaway by Verzosa Dolezal, and then the sliding tackle from Samantha White to get it back to Michigan State.
Oh, this isn't good. We're seeing Lauren DeBow. She's clearly frustrated. She's holding her ankle.
What would you say on her?
I think it may just be a stinger above all, because she's trying to walk it off, but she's definitely feeling it right now. We saw her bang the ground a couple of times, and she's clearly in some pain. I think what may have happened is she must have been stepped on or something. So those definitely hurt, but it's good that she requires no further treatment.
You could see the frustration right after, maybe more of kind of what you were saying, just a in the moment stinger kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Long pass ahead toward DeBow. Cathro controlling it, now back to the Spartans.
Good step by Ella Karolak there to intercept the pass in from Cox. Ella Karolak will definitely give you a lot in her 90 minutes. We saw her go forward a little bit. It actually led to the Illini goal against Loyola. So Karolak in her expanded role has definitely become a very reliable defender back there. She has great vision and is able to cut back passes like those.
Forward Jones. Gets it to Ashley Prell. Senior Murphy keeping it on the offensive third, and a shot attempt over the crossbar. And again, not a bad attempt.
Well, you're seeing some high fives right now from Eileen Murphy with her teammates. We'll get another look. This is actually a really, it's an ambitious shot. It almost comes off. Again, she gets a little bit under it, and it doesn't quite sail back down on frame, but you like the idea. It's yet another shot from distance from Illinois, so they're presenting themselves as a threat from outside of the box. We'll see if they can make it a dynamic attack and really unsettle the Spartan back line.
Bria Scrotenboer on for Michigan State as Abby Gardner heads off.
And we see Scrotenboer also fill in the defense. She was more of a midfielder who actually went forward on some occasions last Sunday, and so definitely sticking to his system for today is Jeff Hostler.
Cox lost it momentarily, able to get it back and reset.
Luckily, Cox was able to maintain her composure. We're seeing the fullbacks play up actually rather high. The center backs are about where you would expect in this point of the game, but well past the midfield line are both the left back and the right back for the Spartans, and that can be dangerous whenever you have fast wingers like Eichenbaum and Prell on the Illini side to exploit the space behind them. They put a lot of trust in these fullbacks, do the Spartans, and there's certainly reason to. Samantha White and Reagan Cox, both brilliant players, but they'll want to be careful in getting too far forward.
DeBow trying to make something happen, tripped up by Cathro.
It's a good no call there. I think the ref thought about it for just a second, but Ashley Cathro, her step in, gets all ball. Those are easy to call, but good one nonetheless.
Sargent drove in, now the ball back to DeBow. Here's Gaynor ahead and almost a good look. But Chile coming up big again, making the play.
And there's going to be a flag for offsides here. I think what happened, so I think that was a Gaynor to Gaynor sisters link up there. Justina had a great pass to Celia Gaynor, and I think what happened was Celia Gaynor, I think, thought she was offside, and so everybody kind of stopped. I think they were expecting the flag to go off. It never did. And that's one of those moments where I think Celia Gaynor just needs to play until the whistle. Maybe it gets called back for offside, but I think she was on there. I think there was just a bit of a lapse in that Illini back line, and unfortunately for Michigan State, Celia Gaynor just doesn't quite realize the position she's in. I think Illinois gets really lucky there.
Celia and Julia Gaynor, both from Shelby Township, Michigan, went to Butler, both transferring to Michigan State. And Justina does have one goal this year, so she has the slight bragging rights there at the family dinner table. Spartans looking to make something work. Long shot goes to the left of the net, and it'll be a goal kick for Chile.
So you've seen Michigan State invited back into the Illini half just a little bit the last few minutes. And that's kind of what I expected from this game. Both of these teams like to possess the ball in the other's half, and so to see a few minutes apiece trade back and forth, I think if the game continues like this, I think we'll see a more Illinois phase in the attacking half. Of course, that may change with a couple of substitutes that I imagine will come in the next few minutes. Nobody's due up yet, but this is about the time for them.
They had 26 total shots against Colorado. And a lot of good looks now so far, just trying to get the ball in the back of the net. Nobody home for Celia Gaynor, so another goal kick for Illinois.
It's one of those, it's a great pass if nobody's there, or if somebody is there, but nobody was, and just a instance of not being on the same page there between passer and receiver. Beautiful blue skies over Champaign. It's a nice change of pace from the rainy last couple of Sundays we've had here.
Well, back and forth, Murphy with it for Illinois. Keeping the pressure on is Cameron Evans. But Illinois, a little bit of breathing room.
Well, that takes a lot of courage on the part of Eileen Murphy, and she's certainly not going to back down from those situations, although another chance here for the Spartans.
Centering pass taken away by Illinois. And another good look thwarted for the moment. Pasquale ahead toward Eichenbaum. But it goes back to Kozel and Michigan State. Looking to go back to the Illinois half.
We're seeing Emerson Sargent. She's hobbled a little bit. She's not running anywhere close to 100% right now. That's a concern because she's been off to a great start. That's a great pass for Eichenbaum, though.
Eichenbaum working in. A shot directly into Kozel.
We're seeing Ashley Prell. I think she may have been a little frustrated. She had plenty of space at the top of the box. Eichenbaum made a good run, but at the end of the day opted for the much tougher shot. And I think that's an attack that Illinois would like to have back. They definitely had numbers forward in dangerous positions. It's a Michigan State throw, but it looks like we have 2 Illinois substitutes due up at the next opportunity.
Just over 20 minutes into this one, no score. Plenty of good chances for both teams. Up ahead, Evans, the senior.
And the offside flag is indeed raised. I think that one was a little bit more obvious that DePaul clearly behind the last defender, DeBow rather. Seeing several substitutes warm up for Michigan State, as many as 7 it looks like are getting some drills in. You can see it behind Julia Chile, those green-pennied Spartans. Meanwhile, Illinois have a pair of substitutes waiting in the box.
Michigan State was a little late getting here for warm-ups. They had significantly less time on the pitch than Illinois before the game.
It's that Southern Illinois traffic.
Here's Kaler, and another good stop by Chile.
It's a good sprint by Kaler. Courtney Kaler, a very quick attacker. Young freshman that has shown a lot of promise in her very fast runs, and we can see here very confident on the ball and doesn't quite get the shot she wants, and Julia Chile still gets down to it. She gets plenty behind it. She's had to reel it back just a little bit. She plays very physically, both on the dribble and also when she's trying to win the ball back. It's not a bad run from her, and another threat starting to show up for the visitors.
Kaler got her second Big Ten Freshman of the Week honor of the season on the 13th. Assisted on 2 of those 3 Cameron Evans goal in that 4-2 win against Colorado.
Another ambitious ball on the part of Emerson Sargent, who's still going strong, it looks like. Just a little bit too far in front of DeBow. But here come the new ranks for both teams.
Sydney Stevens on for Illinois. Goal kick coming up here for Chile. Another great save. And you can't mention enough, just plenty of great opportunities early for the Spartans.
Yeah, they've definitely looked the more dangerous side. Illinois has been having to play more on the counter, and I think the fact that they're just not as comfortable with that, they haven't done much of that this season, I think is the reason they have been second most likely to score, if you like.
Schrotenberger ahead to DeBow. Centering pass, can't connect. Evans was sliding, trying to make that play. And just by a hair, can't connect.
That's yet another instance of Illinois being very fortunate at the back. Evans was shielded off by a couple of defenders, but even so, just the hesitancy to commit. I can appreciate the discipline to some extent, but at the same time, I think Coach Janet Rayfield just wants to see more moves on the ball. At that point, you want to force the shot, and especially if it's at a tighter angle, you don't want to see that space minimized between goal and ball. So I think Illinois, with a bit of a nervy few minutes at the back, seen another substitute come in for the Spartans.
Michigan State keeping it in the Illinois half.
It's probably the furthest I think I've seen Julia Chile come out of her box this year.
Long kick ahead, trying to connect with the fresh substitute Sydney Stevens. Spartans back with possession. Dalton to Justina Gaynor, 17-18. And Gaynor can't find anybody as the ball rolls all the way past the touchline for Illinois throw-in.
And that one obviously too tall for any of the Spartans in the box, and there were several. So not a bad ball, but maybe a different ball is the right move there. Gonna see a substitution I haven't seen too much this year. We're seeing Ashley Catheroff for Summer Garrison. Garrison now filling in at left back. She's had some reps at right back, but we'll see what it looks like on the other side, especially with Justina Gaynor for the Spartans stretching more and more to that right side. Should be an interesting battle.
Cathro heading off, one of the 3 Illinois selections for the Big Ten preseason players to watch list, along with Kendra Pasquale and Eileen Murphy.
Nice footwork by Julia Eichenbaum.
Illinois can't quite keep it in, but like you said, a nice play there by Eichenbaum as you heard the crowd's approval of that play.
Definitely was a nice little sequence of footwork on the part of Eichenbaum. She was trying to find Sarah Foley, who can certainly be a threat, but just not being able to break into form are these Illini attackers. We're seeing yet another spell of possession in the Illini half from the Spartans.
Illinois able to keep the ball away from the box. But Michigan State still putting the pressure on. On kick and a save off the foot of the senior Evans, and Chile keeping it at 0-0.
Great diving save by Julia Chile, affording a lot of time to Cameron Evans, who, to her credit, able to get it away from her defender. But that's a good reach from Julia Chile. But if there's one player you definitely do not want to afford that kind of time and space to, it is Cameron Evans. After all, she had that hat trick just a few days ago, not far removed from that, and just her incredible experience. Illini opting to put numbers back before really committing. But maybe that's one of the adjustments head coach Janet Rayfield might want to make upon the half.
That Colorado game, like you mentioned, a very rainy Sunday. If you're a Bears fan, you knew it was rainy in Chicago, rainy in the many parts of the Great Lakes region. And nice and sunny today. Well, unintentional handball there from Michaela Woods. Really nothing you can do there, as that just took a weird bounce and spin.
It's unfortunate because on the one hand you want to give the player the benefit of the doubt, but especially if those are maybe in the box, it becomes a lot dicier. So it's all about that silhouette. If it gets in the way, intentional or not, then it's going to be whistled.
All still in the Illinois half. When Murphy able to clear it out. Kozel had to hurry pressure from Woods.
Well, what I was going to say, if the Illini wanted to shift the narrative here just a little bit, is to try to use these wings a little bit more. Michigan State has looked really solid, and they look unbeatable because right now they're all concentrated in the middle. The Illini have not been able to really use those wings, and they have plenty of speed out there. I think that was a message that head coach Janet Rayfield is trying to send by sending in Michaela Woods, a fantastic runner, very strong, can make things happen. We're also seeing Zoe Koloff with a different dimension, so I think that's something that the Illini are trying to influence right now, seeing more on the wings.
Back and forth on the Illinois half. Michigan State trying to set up a shot on goal. Little collision between Garrison and Cox. Woods' slight hand check comes up with it right along the sideline. The return pass from Koloff can't find Woods, so Michigan State another throw-in.
Misplayed pass there by Koloff, but in that preceding moment, Michaela Woods couldn't quite turn around Cox there, and you're seeing the numbers they're putting on Michaela Woods. These Spartans are well aware of the threat that Woods can pose on the left side for the Illini, so very sharp to it. And that's a mark of this Michigan State team. They're very adaptable, something that is very obvious whenever a team has not given up that many goals like the Spartans with just the 4, is that they are very aware of, they are very situationally aware. They know how to adjust, and that allows them to stay tight at the back, but also maintain the game at their pace. And that's why they've been so defensively sound.
A roar from the crowd as it is ruled Illinois ball.
It's probably the loudest roar we've heard so far from the Illini.
And the noise from the mini drum line down up front on the far side of the pitch from TV vantage point.
You gotta love that, those additions to the atmosphere. I know they're pretty divisive in the highest levels of the game all over the world. You hear different instruments, of course, the drums, the vuvuzelas in places like Africa, and there's just so many different ways to enhance the atmosphere. So that's something I personally really like to hear, is not only the fans, but also the added music, if you like.
Got to experience my first MLS game that I've ever been to on a little vacation before the start of the school year, watching the Sounders. And just like you said, just one of those experiences, the fans just make it that much more special.
Absolutely. Especially in a place like Seattle. They play in such a magnificent stadium that is so fan-friendly in terms of building up that noise. But yeah, there's that drum line. You can getting the deserved love right now. I mean, they can definitely make a difference, and who knows, they might be able to inspire the Illini into a little bit more intensity. They've lacked some urgency, I have to say, and that's prevented them from really looking that confident in the attack. They had some good looks early, but since then it's just kind of lulled out in the Spartans' defensive half.
Chile rushed up, but a nice play by Murphy to prevent a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward moment there. Those are difficult to deal with, and with Julia Chile committing well off of her line, that was one of those you just kind of hope that you get a touch that prevents the ball from going goalward, and luckily for the Illini, that's what happened. We're seeing Cameron Evans trying to walk off probably a stinger of her own, but if we know anything about her, she's not going to come off unless she has to be carried off.
Second corner of the match here for the Spartans. Deflected off the left foot of Trider. Michigan State still with it, but Woods deflecting a pass.
I think Trider was just a little bit too quick to decide what to do with that one. I think she may have had some runners on the opposite side to try to send it forward and switch the field of play, but I think she may have had the time to take an extra touch. You want to get it back, but not as comfortably as they would like.
Woods is doing her best Julie Eichenbaum impression. Spartans still with it, about 9.5 minutes left in this first half. Andrus trying to work around Karolak. Another clear by Murphy, able to give Illinois some breathing room, but Michigan State right back on it. Trider able to clear it away. And this will be the third Michigan State corner kick of the match.
We're going to see Diodati take this one. She's capable. We've seen her drive some, I guess you could call them more linear corner kicks into the 6-yard box that can always cause problems no matter what kind of a team you are. The set piece battle is one I would think the Illini are probably favored in, but the fact is the Spartans have gotten more reps, and that allows them to get more used to it as the game goes on. And all it takes is that one chance. We'll see what Diodati can produce here.
A lot of hang time, no header goal. Another loft pass from Cox.
The offside flag instantly raised.
The third corner kick, still scoreless. Illinois able to hold off a slew of great chances here in this first half from the Spartans.
Yeah, I've been rather critical about how the Illini have looked at the attack, but to their credit, they've at least been able to stay compact defensively and keep bodies on top of attackers, especially after a couple of dangerous-looking chances the Spartans got through. Since then, they've tightened up a little bit, and really, by not really attacking on the wings, there hasn't been much attention paid over that way by the Spartans either, and so from there, it looks like the Illini have at least been able to keep a pretty high concentration of orange in the box, but that has come at the expense of really getting something going in the forward direction.
Almost like the old color rush jerseys on Thursday Night Football. Illinois all orange, top shorts and socks. Michigan State the same, but all white.
I have to say, I kind of miss those jerseys. I like the more monochromatic, I guess maybe the right word, the uniform.
Those are some of my favorite types of jerseys. I'm not afraid to say it, even though it seems like a lot of people didn't really care for them. Illinois looking to get a good opportunity before the end of the half. And Garrison can't get any spin on that one. It'll be a goal kick for Kozel and the Spartans.
Yeah, you said it. I think Garrison just misplaced that one off of her foot. I think it had kind of a weird spin as it came to her feet, and she opted not to take a touch, and that usually will come at the cost of not being able to dictate how exactly the ball gets off your foot. So that's one I think she'll want back, and just being able to take another touch and get more of a bend on the cross.
Pasquale keeps it in the offensive half. Centering pass can't find Woods, and Michigan State able to clear it past the sideline for an Illinois throw-in.
And immediately Pasquale gets back in it. She's clearly got some steam.
Kohlhoff shot that one into Scrotenbor.
Kendra Pasquale is that type of player for the Illini that would inspire a bit more of that urgency, that edge to be able to get to those 50-50 balls and create something in their attacking half. She's highly experienced, highly decorated, plenty of skill as well as just drive and heart. And you'll see on the ball here, things can definitely happen. She's not afraid to create something, and I think that's something Illinois is really in need of right now.
Play made by Kozel. You saw two orange jerseys trying to make a scoring opportunity off that pass. But Kozel just a heads-up play, able to knock it down and keep it on the ground.
Yeah, the letter of the law is always going to be on the side of the goalkeeper there. As long as the goalkeeper is going for the ball, then they have a lot of protections around them. So even if it seems like it's just a mutual clash, goalkeeper is going to get the benefit of the doubt there. And I think that's what Pasquale and the official Josh Kelly were just keeping straight there. We're seeing that the Illini are starting to really grow into this half, though.
Stevens trying to keep it in near the corner. Does keep it in, and it deflects it off of a white jersey to keep it in the Illini possession.
Bit of a wrestling match there that I think Stevens just about got the best of there between her and Ruby Diodati.
Woods got a touch in the box, but Michigan State able to take it back. 3.5 minutes left in this first half. Zeros for both teams, but plenty of high-quality scoring chances as the collision there will result in Michigan State ball.
Initially a solid tackle by Sydney Stevens, and it must have been Ella Karolak that got the worst of a pretty big collision there in the back line of the Illini. Pace is definitely chopped up a little bit, and I think both teams are just trying to figure out the feeling of the game in these final few minutes of the first half.
I can move it back a little bit more after the half ends.
Chile with under 3. Kick toward the Michigan State half. Illinois still with it.
Oh, what was that? Sorry. Yeah, I don't have a battery.
A whistle keeps it with the Illini.
I think initially he was going to play advantage there, was the official, but once it was clear that Pasquale would not have clear possession of the ball, then immediately the foul was whistled.
It was, yeah. It looked like someone had
It is a nice part of the
or something. I don't know. They were pretty far.
sport of soccer, the advantage clause with foul decisions by the referee. Just being able to see how the play unfolds. Don't unnecessarily stop the play.
Do you want me to iris down a little bit on 2?
Michigan State trying to get numbers. And a plead from the left side of the field. You saw Reagan Cox calling for it.
Yeah, MJ Andrus just spent a little bit too much time on the ball. That's when Michigan State looked most dangerous a week ago, was on the counterattack, when they can have those lightning strikes and go directly and quickly. And they definitely had numbers. So that was an opportunity that left a lot to be desired for the visiting team. In a game like this where you have those phases of it being open play, but really not a ton of great chances on goal, those are the chances that you're going to look at and say, we could have done better here. This was our opportunity. And I think that's going to be a point that comes up in the Michigan State locker room.
Nice pass from Woods, but the return from Stevens goes out and will be a Michigan State throw-in.
Be curious to see what either of these coaches opt for in this final minute. You always like to try to sneak in a goal, but we'll see what the mindset is.
Murphy again stopping a scoring chance for Michigan State near point blank.
I'm going to want to get another look at that as soon as we get the chance, because that was a difficult call to make on the part of the official.
25 seconds left. Gainer centering pass. Murphy kicks it away. Stevens fighting against Reagan Dalton.
So we'll get a quick look here at the penalty chance, and Eileen Murphy definitely came in.
I just ran over from him.
That one's a tough call to make there by the official, but he opted to wave it off, and it remains 0-0.
Scoreless through the first 45. Plenty of great chances to go around. No dice, no goals. We'll see if both teams can change that in the second half when we come back on Big Ten Plus.
Hey, Michael. He said he's going to unplug me. How's the white balance? You said it's a flower button?
You don't have to stay down here.
Here, hold on a second. What?
You don't have to stay down here for half. As long as you get back down here a few minutes before.
Can you help me find the balance thing on here? He said it looked like a flower.
It looked like what?
Yeah, it's usually white balance. If you zoom in on
No one's doing me. There's a white balance button, but I remember from last time there was like another button, but we don't see it here.
oh, somebody's calling me. Hello? Yes. Hey Paul, how you doing? Oh.
No, there's not.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a white balance button, and it has a little dot in the center.
Okay. Yeah.
No assist. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have. What was that?
Yeah. It was. For a second there, it was. We're not showing this shot though, so you're fine. You know?
No score through 45 minutes of soccer here at Demersion Park. Darren Brown, Alec Gilmore on Big Ten Plus for both teams' Big Ten season opener in 2022. Both teams looking for win number 6 on the short year. A lot of action early offensively, no goals to show for it, but 14 total shots, 7 of those on goal between these two teams, including 3 Michigan State corners. But Alec, among all those great quality shot attempts, still scoreless here as we get set to start the second half.
And yeah, as you're seeing, a predominantly Michigan State. Illinois has had their chances, though. As they grew into the first half, we had a couple of opportunities. Sydney Stevens, a substitute for today. She's been one of the factors to get it physical, but it's been tough. And again, a lot of it has been Michigan State. We've seen a lot of different approaches. That's probably the most contentious call of the half right there, was the penalty decision. But as we've been seeing, Kendra Pasquale, she's probably been one of the few bright spots in the Illini attack. It's been a relatively open game. Michigan State has definitely had the better chances, but I'm sure there's been a fair share of adjustments made by both teams.
Pasquale, one of 4 Illinois players on the pitch for the entire first half. And Murphy on there for the entirety, along with Aaliyah Schreiterer and Ella Karolak.
And that really is something that I don't think we appreciated enough in the first half. And that's really going to be tested in the second, just how much these players have in the tank, because we briefly mentioned how rainy and cloudy it had been here in Champaign for the last couple of weeks, last couple of Sundays, but today we're in the 80s, the sun is out, few clouds in the sky, the humidity is definitely being felt. It's probably the last game of the year at Champaign that will probably feel like this, but it definitely takes a lot out of you. Any game will, and especially in these conditions. So that's another factor that I think these coaches are considering. What kind of substitutions need to be made at what times? Give your players the right amount of rest without breaking up any rhythm that your team has. That's going to be something else. So as Illinois starts on the ball here, I'm curious how this second half will unfold.
Illinois all-time against Michigan State, 23 wins, 3 ties, and 3 losses. So historically, Illinois dominating the matchup with Michigan State, but a chance for the Spartans to get one of their rare victories in this series. So 8 shots in the first half.
It's a good show of speed early there. We saw Emerson Sargent hobbled a little bit in the first half, but she's had some bright moments. She's looked pretty sharp, and as you can see there, she's trying to go in for the challenge even. She will definitely be a force in this Michigan State Spartans side if she remains healthy. She's made quite the impression already.
Chile again comes up, big rebound for Michigan State, just to the left.
That's a fantastic save by Julia Chile. It goes without saying. She was in the right place at the right time, and then it was not a bad shot by Gaynor at all to follow it up, but Julia Chile early on her toes, and that's so important at this early stage in the second half. You definitely don't want to start on the wrong foot. Julia Chile was on the right foot and got to the right place at the right time.
Second shot of the match for Gaynor. And just missing that left corner. Michigan State trying to reload here.
Great ball by Justina Gaynor, though.
Out past Chile, plucks it out of the air.
So already we're seeing a little bit more sharpness, even that Michigan State didn't have. We certainly saw that they were the better attacking side, but as Cox floats in a ball here, we're seeing some good opportunities early for Michigan State. They have looked the sharper of the two teams so far, and luckily Julia Chili has been up to it for the Illini, but they really need to get some things going forward because right now they look a little vulnerable.
Two early shots in this second half for Michigan State, but it'll be Illinois possession after the whistle.
That free kick is taken quickly. That's definitely one of the many things that goes into accelerating the pace of play a little bit.
Chance for DeBow, point blank. Michigan State breaks the tie. They lead it 1-0.
Well, you can see Ella Karolak there. She's disappointed with herself. I think she just overcommits in initially challenging, but all the credit from there goes to DeBow. That's a great finish past Julia Chili, who really couldn't do much else other than try to commit. But DeBow makes a great touch to get around the goalkeeper and have a wide open net to score into. Michigan State definitely deserving of the lead. We get another look. Julia Chili does everything right here and just forcing DeBow to make a decision. DeBow makes the right decision, and she is clinical on that finish. So if anything is going to shock this Illini attack awake, it's got to be that goal from the Spartans because they are deservedly in front.
Points 8 and 9 of the season for DeBow, her fourth goal to go along with an assist on the year. Michigan State finally getting the ball in the back of the net. 3 early shots in the second half, the third one. DeBow putting the Spartans ahead.
And the fans are seeing it here on the Jumbotron. Just the heavy favorite in statistical categories is Michigan State. And we keep stressing it. It's just been them being able to possess the ball for more time in their attacking half. Illinois has plenty of creative players at their disposal. They just haven't been able to find them, transition to the flow of play to them thus far.
Michigan State dominated the offensive numbers in their previous match against Colorado, 25-10 in shots, 13-7 in shots on goal, and 4 corner kicks compared to 1 from Colorado. Looking to put up similar numbers on the road here against Illinois. The goal scorer, DeBow. DeBow to Diodati, Michigan State working it around.
Well, that's good thinking there on the part of the Spartans. A little bit of interplay in that left wing, and then a lot of credit. I think that was Kennedy Burchell in defense there. I think that was really good work by her to be smart to what the Spartans were trying to put up right there, build a potential opportunity for a cross, maybe even a shot. Burchell is wise to it and cuts off Gaynor for the pass.
Illini trying to respond to the DeBow goal. A lot of action so far in the Illinois half. Now the ball in the Michigan State half.
There we go. I'm not sure.
Foul brings it back to Michigan State. And Kozel, a reset for the Spartans.
Again, just move this ring around because this is the focus ring or the zoom ring. Just move it.
Can't connect on our near side to Diodati, so Illinois right back with possession.
White still feeling the challenge from Eichenbaum there, but good pressure by her two teammates there. And now Michigan State looks dangerous in the counterattack.
Lead pass to Evans. Gainer had it, now Sargent.
That's a great
pass
ball.
and another goal for the Spartans.
Well, that is a really, really good ball there. I can't quite catch the number. I think that might be Hansen, but it is DeBow scoring again. That's just fantastic work on the part of the Spartans once more. And that time it's an easier finish for DeBow to get the first time finish. But something about this Michigan State team, when they smell blood in the water, they really grow into the game. And that Spartan contingent is very happy to see their team 2 goals up. It was actually Cox that puts in a fantastic cross from the top of the box. And then DeBow does well to hold her run and get the easy finish past Julia Chili, who again is pretty much hopeless in stopping that one. So Michigan State fully in control of this match now, and really that's been the case certainly in the attack throughout the day.
DeBow matching her season goal total today now with 4. And that one putting it to 5.
And you see Illinois trying the quick direct attack there. Clearly some frustration, and just checking over on that Illinois bench, we're seeing head coach Janet Rayfield. She clearly is not too pleased. We are on the opposite side of the field, so we really can't hear what she's saying, but I can't imagine she is the happiest figure on the field right now.
What's he wearing?
There's been the theme of the game, a lot of good opportunities for Michigan State, whether they were setting it up themselves or finding weaknesses on Illinois' side.
And they've been able to create so many opportunities because they've won the midfield. They have such great depth, even just there. They've been in the right positions to intercept. This is a Spartan team that likes to keep a lot in the midfield. We see some more attacking set midfielders versus some more defensive-minded ones, and that allows them to populate the midfield. And that really doesn't allow a lot of work from their opponents. They don't really get the chance to set up any great passes or any real interplay from the middle of the field. That's why Illinois needs to use those wings, and they really haven't done that so far.
Yeah.
But that Michigan State midfield has been the reason they have been in such control of this game.
Illinois trying to prevent the game from getting too far out of reach. Michigan State has possession again, and they'll try to set up goal number 3. It was almost bound to happen. That first half was 8 shots for Michigan State, none of them finding the back of the net, but plenty of high percentage chances. And finally in the second half early, they find those high percentage chances resulting in goals.
Just thinking back to that first half, there were multiple occasions in which I found myself thinking, wow, Illinois was really lucky not to concede a good shot on goal or even a full score from the Spartans. They just had so many great looks, those incisive crosses inside the 6-yard box that just didn't get the final touch. Michigan State is threatened, and I think Illinois finally ran out of luck in that back line, so now they're going to have to create some luck of their own. This is where you'd want to see them if Illinois were to stage a comeback here, stringing together passes in the attacking half, but they're going to need to maintain this for much of the rest of the game if they want to steal a result here.
So it's funny watching when the ball goes out of the sideline. It's like when there's a fumble in football, everybody's pointing their way.
Yeah, unbelievably, we're not seeing the best use of the honor system. Although I think it's maybe just hoping for the best for your team regardless of how far away it is from the truth.
Now, if this was cricket, then there would be an honor system. The second most popular game doing something the most popular worldwide game not doing. Maybe that'll be the next rule change.
I think we need to see some Big Ten cricket.
Illinois looking to get on the board. Nifty maneuver from Eichenbaum. And Michigan State able to clear it from the box.
It was a good attacking charge by Julia Eichenbaum. She's so fluid in her footwork, and that becomes a weapon, especially in those wing positions where you just need to get that last defender off of you. Illinois can't be reckless in possession, though. They still have plenty of time to make some things happen, create some more chances, but they also need to make sure they're not being impatient. They're not rushing things that aren't there, not passing to players that are not in the space that balls are being sent to. This is a much more composed Illinois, but then again, there's just another pass that you need to find the receiver, and you need to find it in a very, you just need to be able to keep those passes accurate.
Michigan State 4 shots, all 4 total between both teams in this half. First 10 or so minutes, Spartans going to put the game out of reach.
They were actually first to concede against Colorado, and then after that it was an onslaught. They fully leaned into their attack as they generated some momentum. That's that midfield pressing higher up, and when a team is under pressure to try to turn things around, they can be much more susceptible when that midfield is more on top of you and it seems like more numbers are in your defensive half. We're just seeing how quickly they're able to get up numbers here.
Burschel gets it to Garrison, Illinois. Can relax a little bit before setting up the offense. But a good read from Justina Gaynor. Now there's shot, and there's the hat trick. Michigan State's second straight match with a hat trick. It was the senior Evans against Colorado, and now the senior DeBow against Illinois.
Well, DeBow once again afforded too much space, and DeBow, she's such a prolific attacker. That's another great shot that is absolutely no surprise. She's so technically able in those opportunities, especially when afforded the amount of space she had. I think the Illinois back line has just been too hesitant to commit and really set the physical edge, and that has really allowed the Spartan side to frankly walk all over them, especially in this second half. So DeBow deservedly gets her hat trick, and now it seems like a mountain to climb for the hosts.
Eichenbaum's pass broken up by a couple of Michigan State players there in the middle of the box. Five shots on goal in this match for DeBow. 5 for 5 in getting those attempts on net, has 3 goals to show for it.
Yeah, only 3 out of those 5 shots. if there's anything that DeBow can improve, and that's really just nitpicking there. She's put in a great performance up top. And I have a feeling she may not be satisfied just yet. Still a half an hour to play. Even if Illinois are out of reach of a win or even a draw here, they really do not want to let this become even more lopsided. That's not the best way to start a conference campaign, certainly.
Cameron Evans was co-Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week for this week's awards, along with Courtney Kaler winning Freshman of the Week. And I think it's safe to say we'll see a second straight week with an Offensive Player of the Week for the Spartans.
I'm sure we'll see plenty of accolades awarded to this Spartan side.
Just under a half hour left in this one. Spartans up 3-0. All 3 goals from Lauren DeBow.
We have a yellow card awarded here. We're hearing the drum line for the Illini. Something for them to be excited about. It's unfortunate. They've been so committed throughout the day. And unfortunately, their team has not rewarded their efforts with goals thus far.
The yellow card for Justina Gaynor.
You think she'll be given a hard time by her sister, Celia Gaynor?
Maybe. See, I always knew you were the ornery one.
And DeBow looks like she is exiting. I have my doubts if she'll come back in, but if that's all she will have for today, that's great work from her to be able to be the difference so far. As dominant as Michigan State had been, they just needed somebody to turn in those chances, and that became Lauren DeBow. So it goes without saying, the hat trick scorer has been the key factor in this game, but I'm sure the Spartans, coaches, players, fans, very pleased with what she's turned in today.
Along the sideline, the freshman Illig. Now Illinois with it, it's Burschel.
I think Rayfield's moving some players around in formation, just trying some different looks here.
Good defense there from Ella Karolak.
Yeah, still hot in pursuit of these Spartan attackers, which is good to see because Karolak, she still put in a solid performance, but I'm sure she'll be looking back on a couple of those goals, seeing what she could have done better. And that's obviously what the best players do. They reflect in their best and not so great moments. And again, throughout the season, especially early this season, we've seen a lot for Ella Karolak to be optimistic about for the Illini, and I think she'll take this game, and hopefully she'll take it in stride. Still plenty of game left, though, so I think that can start by helping not leak any more goals through this back line.
Gaynor deflected off the chest of Illinois' Aaliyah Treiterer. Allie Childers heading on for Michigan State.
And I think that's going to be with Emerson Sargent taking a seat. Good work from her once more. Had to show a little bit of resilience. She picked up a bit of a knock midway through the first half. Be curious to see what Allie Childers brings here.
Fourth corner deflected away by Chile, almost deflected it off of a Michigan State player into her own net.
that was very nearly what they call an Olympico, a straight from the corner goal. And then I don't know who it was that got a touch off of the Julia Chile save, but that was just a crazy carom of a play.
Yes, Summer, way to work. Go. Work here, right, work here, right. Keep bringing good juice.
If this game wasn't 3-0, that would be quite, quite the miss there.
Couldn't imagine, yeah. I mean, I think she, obviously inadvertently, I think whatever Spartan attacker it was accidentally deflected the ball away from the line. Here we get a look. Good save by Chile, and then that's, I think, Justina Gaynor, that it just comes off the wrong part of her leg, and may have been the inside of her leg that actually deflected it off of the frame of goal. That's incredibly unfortunate, and between that and the yellow card, I think Celia Gaynor is going to have plenty to rib her sister about after this game.
We got our second Michigan State yellow card here against Emily Andrus.
Just like that, Andrus is being pulled.
No relation to White Sox great Elvis Andrus.
Ooh, I think a handball was just missed there.
Crowd wanted it. Press box to our left wanted it.
I think it's another case of an incidental handball, but I think the ref just did not see it. We'll see if an opportunity allows us to get another look. Not that it's going to matter much. We don't have the sophisticated video-assisted referee. Let's get another look here. I mean, that's about as clear as day, to be frank. Kelly Severini for the Spartans. Unfortunate not to see a penalty called. And that could definitely change the complexion of a game. You know, 3 goals of a margin, that's, I mean, obviously that's a lot. 2 goals is not easy to overcome. It's certainly a lot easier than 3, and the penalty kick grants a golden opportunity. But missed handball there, one of the very few things that you have to say Michigan State has gotten away with today.
They had looked like a 4-on-3. Now Michigan State settling it down after the lead pass to the right of Reagan Cox. Spartans still with it. Long pass from Alovic, can't find anybody. Illinois still no shots yet in this second half. Michigan State with 5.
I mean, you've got to start thinking about how you can look back at this game more positively, at least end on a better note. Again, with half of this second half left, it's not impossible to make up this deficit, but Michigan State certainly don't look like a side that's really going to yield that much. So if Illinois can start steering some shots on target, getting some better attacking possession, maybe even get a goal or 2, they'll look at this game a lot more fondly than they probably will right now. It's all about the confidence, because one game, not even one conference game, is going to define the season, but that comes down to the players ultimately. I think Pasquale thought about trying that one from midfield with Kozel so far off her line.
Sort of a rarity seeing the ball in the Michigan State defensive half.
And the Illini just not quite sure what to do with it. Clearly some frustrations across the board. Not to mention, once again, just the heat that they're surely feeling on that Demersion Park field. Of course, here in Champaign, that temperature is a lot different than it is on the Urbana-based field.
Yeah, just near the city borders here, the Illinois athletic complexes.
Whoa, that's a high boot there from Childers. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, is it the facility, the press box that we're in, is that on the line? I know the field's in Urbana, but is the line the bleachers? Is it the box?
Not exactly sure. Don't have our own little Four Corners historical marker.
I think they should just paint a giant line, personally. I'm surprised they don't have that.
Kozel able to clear it. And Michigan State
Great
trying
ball
to
by
set up
Wickus.
goal number 4. Illig just a bit too ahead of it.
Yeah, I think Maggie Illig took off just half a second too quickly, and I don't think she needed to is the thing. That was a really well-weighted ball by Wickus. I think she was anticipating that Illig had held her run just long enough. It was a close offside decision, but no chance steered on frame.
Spartans still on the attack. Severini over to Celia Gaynor. Working the ball around. Nice hustle there from Eichenbaum.
Able to draw the foul. We have 4 Illinois substitutes getting ready to come on. So, looks like Coach Janet Rayfield is trying to rotate the squad as much as possible at this point, try to get some minutes in, even if they're not the most enjoyable 18 or so minutes.
Illinois past midfield. As they're going to get a foul there against Gaynor.
I think we're starting to see some tired legs. I don't think there's a lot of malice in these fouls, but as these legs starting to feel heavier, you know, the heat's really starting to set in. You don't have quite as much, not necessarily control, but discipline with your body as you're feeling the heat. You know, those loose legs can trip up some players. I think that's why we're seeing the rhythm broken up a little bit. But who knows, maybe the Illini can string something together with this set piece opportunity.
Off the head of Labovich for Michigan State. Illinois still with it. Eichenbaum, slow roller centering pass. Can't find an orange jersey. As that ball poked away by Severini for an Illinois throw-in.
And here come the new ranks, including 2 Michigan substitutes, also 4 Illinois substitutes. And to me, it looks like all of these players have at least seen some action today, so maybe just extending their runs. And actually, I take that back. Abby Lynch will be making her first appearance today. As well, Ellen Person, it appears, in the defensive side of things. for the Illini.
Spartans still with it off the deflection. Hanson, the runner along the right sideline, couldn't make something happen against the Illinois pressure. Or by the substitute Abby Lynch. Illinois still without a shot for the second half. Stevens up towards Woods.
Cuzzle well off her line on that one.
Samantha White able to keep it away from Woods. Illinois still with possession. Lucas over to Foley. And rolling past the touchline away from everybody for a Spartan throw-in.
Good sequence from a couple of those players there. It was a nice move by Lillian Lucas to stay as patient as you can with the defender right on top of you, and she was able to find the right pass to Foley, who unfortunately could not find the one out wide. It's the kind of mindset you need right now if you're the Illini.
Under 15 left in this one. Michigan State this year, 5 shutouts with a record of 3-1-1. Or 3. I'll get that right sometime here. 4-1. 4 wins and a shutout tie against Oakland.
No losses in any of those shutouts, though, which is good.
Good read there by Kozel on the pass, able to snatch it.
That's going to be the biggest win from this point. Michigan State feels like they've got this game just about sealed. So right now, their biggest challenge is to maintain the clean sheet. They will still, of course, feel very good about themselves should they see out this away win to open conference play, but an away shutout is a lot nicer. So they definitely don't want to stretch out in the defense here. And again, you know, we keep saying it. I mean, the chances are not 0 that Illinois scores 3 or 4 goals. So you don't want to take your foot off the gas pedal necessarily. And being able to facilitate a game, close it out, that's so important if you have aspirations in later tournaments. Not to mention getting some minutes, some valuable minutes for some of the non-starters and other squad members.
Battle around midfield. Like you said, if you're an Illinois team trying to take something good away from this game, these last 15 or so minutes.
They have, yeah, you're absolutely right. They've kept the Spartans pretty much at bay. You know, it was a quick sequence of 3 goals being fired in. And yes, DeBoe's been taken out, but there's still plenty of talent on the Spartans side. Just because they didn't start does not mean that they are fully capable of being game breakers. Now here's a chance for Illinois.
Here's a Lynch, put a slow roller into the gloves of Kozel.
It's good to see from Abby Lynch, not only on the run and able to get a shot away, but she also gets the thumbs up to her teammate. That's the kind of mindset that you want to have. That's something that I feel like head coach Janet Rayfield will take notice of. Just seeing her player, Lynch, she didn't get the start. She's still trying to find a more consistent role in this team, but just that little bit of positivity can lift your team up just that little bit, recognize the good things, even if, you know, things like the scoreboard are not necessarily going your way. Those moments of the half chance being created, recognizing your teammates helping you out, that's really important, especially in days like this. I think we're about to see 4 substitutes from Michigan State come in now.
79th minute here. We had the 4-person substitution for Illinois a few minutes ago. About to see the same for the Spartans.
Just saw a yellow card awarded to Ellen Person. I must have missed the challenge, but a little bit of back and forth it looked like with the official, Josh Kelly.
Here come the subs.
And we do see Lauren DeBow re-enter. It's an interesting one. Not saying I agree or disagree, but apparently DeBow is not happy with just 3 goals.
Great chance for number 4. Can't quite connect there.
Couldn't tell if that was Allie Marin there for the Spartans, but she had a pretty clean header. I think just steering that one a little bit too far wide. Michigan State even looking pretty sharp on set pieces, which has not been their strongest suit this year. Lauren DePaul is looking for a card being awarded to Sydney Stevens. I don't think the official will acquiesce.
Any opportunity she can get for that 4th goal.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you have to have that little bit of an edge, that competitive fire, if you want to play as well as DeBow has. Certainly today and throughout the season, she's been a threat. Maybe not even just in goal scoring, but also linking up with other players. It's a shame that we'll see 3 goals allowed on the scorecard of Julia Chile, because she's actually made some really good saves. She's made some phenomenal diving attempts and has kept this game even in the realm of being competitive, really. If we look back to the first half, Michigan State obviously didn't score, but very easily could have. Julia Chile has really grown in confidence since becoming the full-time starter this season.
Chile tied for 2nd in total saves in the Big Ten. In this game, you can certainly see how that comes up. A lot of faced shots. Woods deflected shot, still knocked down by Kozel.
Good work by Kozel to still get there. As you said, there was the deflection, so important to make those kinds of adjustments. But just going back to Kozel's opposite number in Julia Chile, she's, as you said, she's made plenty of saves. A lot of those coming against Notre Dame, a game in which Illinois still pretty handily suffered defeat at, but I can't remember the number. I think it was like 13 or 14 saves that Julia Chile still had against Notre Dame. So it was a 4-0 scoreline, but you can imagine the feeling if that number is greater had it not been for your goalkeeper.
Illinois trying to get a crooked number on the board before time runs out.
That's not a bad take by Woods, and you can see Kozel, I think she was signaling there that it actually made her a little bit nervous. She appeared to have that one covered all the way out. We get another look here. Not a bad take by Michaela Woods, getting the swerve on it, and Kozel, a little bit of discomfort on her face there. I don't think she was more confident than perhaps she should have been.
Clearing pass as Andrus tried to keep it on the offensive half. Spartans still with it. Now a good chance here. And Schreider, a nice play. I'll set up a corner kick for the Michigan State Spartans.
That was good pursuit by Aaliyah Schreider, especially since it was essentially 2-on-1 before the Spartans were on goal yet again. And who knows if Julia Chile would have been able to do much to goalkeep there. So good work by Aaliyah Schreider, rather. She had a lot of space and 2 attackers to answer for, but She forces the visitors to settle for a corner.
6th corner of the game for Michigan State. Bullet pass, can't find anybody on the header now, deflected by Karolak. Illinois retains possession.
Even with the 3-goal lead, you can just see the pressure that Michigan State are forcing upon the Illini. Definitely want to make this as resounding of a victory as possible. Ride this wave into future conference games.
Sargent among those battling around midfield for Michigan State. Illinois gets it back with just under 6 minutes left in this game. It's actually Michigan State ball.
They're stopping the clock here, I think, just to get things straight here. We're seeing some conference. I think the 4th official might be figuring something out. Interesting stoppage, but looks like we will carry on.
Put 5:45 on the clock. That one, another near miss for Michigan State. Shelley working to her left, trying to make the play.
Julia Chili again getting involved.
So DeBow now 50% on shots today, 3 for 6.
I'm sure she'll be very disappointed with that.
Well, 50% instead of 60. Nearly an assist. Rebound, can't connect.
Oh, that's a great pass by DeBow there. If she's done scoring goals, she's not done getting involved. And have they awarded it? I'm not quite sure. I think it is still a goal kick. There was a gesture by the official for a second that I thought would have meant goal, but I don't have quite the sophisticated goal line technology. I think it was successfully cleared away. I think it may have been Lillian Lucas, maybe Ellen Person back there. But a great service by Lauren DeBow. Just making sure nobody forgets what she's capable of.
Well, in hockey, you have the Gordie Howe hat trick, which is goal, assist, and a fight. Would that be for soccer? Would that be goal, assist, and a yellow card, red card?
Well, DeBow had a bit of a conflict earlier. Here's maybe a chance for Illinois.
Pass over to Stevens. And a crossing pass right before that ball went past the goal line. Illinois still with it. Good defensive play.
DeBow with the header away.
Doing a little bit of everything today.
Just in case the 3 goals were not enough.
Chip pass still with the Illini. Shot deflected off of the shoulder of Diodati. Now the Spartans get it. Ball back to the Illini. Finally getting some shots up, 5 shots since we last mentioned that they hadn't had one this half. Just trying to leave the game without being shut out. Shot wide from Woods, another goal kick for Kozel.
We're going to see a substitute for the last couple of minutes. Well, that's really interesting. Cameron Evans, starting attacker, has sat out for much of the second half, is going to re-enter for the final few seconds or so. That's an interesting decision by Hostler. You don't want her to just stand there. So is the Michigan State coaching staff maybe trying a 4th goal, trying to charge for a 4th goal?
Back-to-back games with hat tricks for Michigan State. Like you mentioned, last game it was Evans. Now a natural hat trick to start the second half for DeBow, giving us our current 3-0 score. It's one thing to get a hat trick, it's another thing to do it on 3 straight goals, and then a whole nother thing to have it be all the goals in the game on all of them after you have 8 quality shots in the first half, none of them go in. It's just been all Lauren DeBow today.
You're absolutely right. And it's so frustrating for teams when they're clearly the better one. They've had the more attacking mindset, and they've created more of the chances throughout the day. But there have been so many instances in which nobody can break that deadlock. And DeBow being able to do that in such emphatic fashion is so important. I mean, there are going to be games like those where you are clearly the better team, but you just aren't finding a way through. And so having players like DeBow to be those game breakers, to find those opportunities, so important, especially when you want to compete in those post-season stages. And as for the Illini, I mean, they're obviously not going to feel good about this defeat, but if you're going to suffer any kind of, lopsided defeat in conference play, you probably want to do it early in the season. So you don't want this to set the tone, but if you just, get this experience, you got to live with it. You don't want to let it fester, but you want to make this an opportunity to learn from it and build off of it and string together a solid campaign. I think there's still plenty of potential on this Illinois side. Michigan State's going to walk away the winners, and they're going to feel a lot more confident, probably see them in the rankings this week. But Illinois, they didn't do well today, but still have plenty of potential to do well this season.
Michigan State follows up a win against ranked Colorado with something they haven't done since 20 years ago, minus 2 days, a win against Illinois. Now, their 4th all-time victory against the Illini. They do it on the road. 3 goals, all from Lauren DeBow, to make it 3-0, the final here at Demersion Park. Like you mentioned, just an outstanding offensive day for Michigan State following up that performance against the Buffaloes, heading on the road, winning their Big Ten opener, and doing it in such great style. For Alec Gilmore, I'm Darren Brown. Thanks for joining us so long on Big Ten Plus.